to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome to the July 17th meeting of the Environmental Conservation Board. We have an agenda that we are going to follow. First up, we have Monica Saxena and Salman Khan, tax map 75737. Please state your name and who you're here to represent.
Bob Strom, representing the applicants.
All right, so there were no comments or questions from the public, so we're just going to do an EAF. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? No. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Will the proposed action impact existing public or private water supplies or public or private wastewater treatment utilities? No and no. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? No.
No.
Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources? No.
No.
Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No. Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No. All right. So I am just going to send, all right.
Check the next page.
It's got a signature on it already, so.
That's done. Okay.
Oh, is this, so just put like Environmental Conservation Board? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, just so everyone knows, this is my first time leading a meeting, so.
No worries at all.
You're eligible for the permit.
Yes, yes. All right, so your permit is done.
Sorry?
Yep,
See Rose is.
See Rose?
yep, see Rose on Monday, yep, and
Is she in tomorrow? Is she in tomorrow?
I
I'm
don't
not
believe
sure.
so.
Monday.
Yeah, on Friday, not on Fridays. I didn't think so. Thank you.
Have a great night. All right, next up, we have John Spaccarelli, 149 Dixon Road, tax map 4317-175. Please state your name and who you're here to represent.
I am Paul Lynch from Putnam Engineering, and I'm representing John. John is here tonight. I think John was here back in June, and he had presented the plans. I had a family matter, so I was not able to come that night, and then I think the last meeting, because of the air conditioning issues and everything, we weren't aware that if there was a meeting or not. So we're here tonight to hopefully have you accept the application and we can move forward. This is an existing structure that's on Dixon Road. You know, it's been there probably for 100 years. Probably over a 100-year-old building. And it had 3 out structures on it, 2 of which are going to be removed from the site. 1 will remain, which we'll renovate. The actual house itself will be renovated with a small addition put on and a new 2-car garage. And we're looking to move the driveway to the north side of the lot because there's actual site distance. The current driveway is on the south side of the root cellar, and visibility is limited coming out of there, and there's an awful lot of traffic now that comes through that area with people driving at pretty good speed, so it makes much more sense to put the driveway where we're showing it. We are putting in a new septic system that meets today's Putnam County and New York State Health Department code, a new well, because the original systems date back many, many years and are not suitable in today's environment to be used.
What type of system is going in?
We're going to put in an Elgin system.
Elgin?
Elgin.
All right. It looks like we asked you to provide a SWIP, and you have that. It's being made. It says in the letter. Got a
It's
SWIP.
in process?
In the process, yes. It says being prepared in accordance with the town code. DEP is non-involved agency. Application has been made to PCHD. Small prevention kit. So it looks like everything that we asked for has been, it has been addressed or is in the process of being addressed?
Yes, we've answered everything. Actually, there's one last thing that I put on the plans that weren't turned in yet, but was the actual location of where the concrete basket will be placed. The wash basket. So then when truck, cleans the chute and everything, it goes into a basket, and ultimately that gets put into a dumpster and carted off-site. So we showed that, and it's outside of it.
It's a, what, silk bag, basically? or
It's
what?
basically a silk bag.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that you put it in the dumpster and it gets carted away, and that location for that is outside of the wetland buffer.
All right, so, as I said, everything was addressed.
The SWIP,
Yes,
what's the status of the SWIP right now?
that was submitted to the town engineer.
It was
It's-
submitted, okay.
It's strictly the town, it's strictly this town SWIP requirements, because we don't need to do one for anybody else, in the sense that we're not just, we don't trigger any thresholds that go over 2 acres of disturbance or any, So all we need is our erosion control permit through the New York State DEC, and I just need the town engineer to sign off on the MS4, and part of the town's requirements is to have their local SWIP. So that's been turned in.
All right, so should they come back when the town engineer signs it? or-
We're not ready to issue
Yeah.
anything yet.
Right,
Or
yep.
What is it, does it look like a letter of permission? It's a little extensive, it
okay.
appears. What, you want to show us something of the major things that are being done? You want to bring it up closer? So just hit the highlights is basically what the big changes are.
So first I'll point out the actual wetland.
Okay,
So that's the wetland back through here.
right,
There's an actual stone wall, which is shown on the drawing, that runs right through here.
yeah.
I marked it up in red. I think on your plan, it may be shown as a dotted line, because for some reason, it just didn't transfer over when we took
Okay,
the
yeah, I see.
surveyor's stuff.
Yeah,
So that becomes a demarcation point from the wetland to what was originally developed. So there's these 2 out structures here and here. They're dilapidated. They're just going to be put into a dumpster and hauled off-site. The original well is located here. Obviously, it's Dixon Road, so there's the well. And the original septic is there. They're probably about 20 feet apart. And this is a hand-dug well. So that's why we're looking to drill a well, put a new septic, meet today's code requirements. It's being done as a repair. So the Elgin system will be located up in here. We're bringing in a little bit of fill for that. There'll be a construction entrance to bring the fill in up, to be able to place it here. There'll be a new construction entrance here just to be able to come in to be able to drill the well, and then also do the renovation and the addition to the house.
what's,
We're looking to put
where's the
a,
well going to go now?
the well's going to be back
Okay,
here.
all right.
There's this is the actual keyhole, which is, I can't have a septic in that area.
Uh-huh.
So if I were to take this well and slide it over, that would take that line here, slide it over to the septic, and it's not going to be approved.
Okay,
So I'm limited to what my constraints are, that being around that well.
How
and
deep is the new well gonna be, do you know?
My guess would probably be like 300 feet. Seems to be the average in that area from what I know. So the actual, from the house now, the plumbing will come out front. There'll be a, 1,250 gallon septic tank, a pump tank with an effluent filter, and then that just pumps up to the new Elgin Fields. We do have a rain garden down here. This will be our area for our construction staging area, as well as if there were to be any refueling of any vehicles, that would take place in here. This would be our soil stockpile area over there. That's pretty much it.
The garage is going to be
Right here.
there.
So that's the breezeway, and then the main house just gets this corner.
And rain garden specs you already gave them to
Yes.
Franzetti?
Yeah, we worked out the rain garden, take all this and half the roof of the house.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that's major that is being done?
No, that pretty much sums up the
Other
entire
than-
project.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So we're just looking for you to accept the project tonight.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, because you said that seemed a bit, we don't have quite enough yet to,
Well, in 2 weeks, we have another meeting.
right,
So we need to get more information from the
Right,
town.
yeah.
And you're obviously, we're going to have to, it's probably going to be it's not going to be a letter of permission because it's much more extensive. So that's the way it's going to work out. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
Is there any other?
There's various levels of events that can take place in a wetland buffer. Sometimes it would give you a letter of permission, as opposed to where you need to actually have a permit issued. Like if you had, say, a stream bed that was coming through here and you had a crossing over it and you needed to rebuild a bridge, that would be a letter of permission. But because we're doing all this work in the buffer, it's just a normal permit.
Yeah.
So the process would be is that they would accept the application, and then that would be, I think, a 30-day clock.
yep.
Yeah.
And then after the 30 days, they can issue the permit.
Yep, that sounds appropriate. So come back in 2 weeks, and we should be able to do something for you then, but
Yeah,
You don't
Not
want to
tonight,
accept the
yeah.
permit tonight?
unfortunately not
Okay.
yet. No, we need more.
It will be a permit. We can accept it, but qualification being that the town has to give the imprimatur for what you've submitted. So, I mean, we could do that.
I'm fine.
In the next meeting, we can do the permit.
Okay, I'm fine with that because John has a closing that's coming up, so he was hoping to have his paperwork taken care of, so that he had all his permits and his ducks lined up in advance of that
We don't
closing.
like that.
No.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
The only reason being is because we lost a couple of weeks. The last 2 meetings were adjourned because of, remember, the air conditioning and then the holiday, so we lost a whole month, actually. And we understand, we're just trying to make it up if we can in any way possible.
Well, we're not going to issue it tonight, but in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we just wanted to get an idea of what it was going to be, the whole project, and how extensive, and it seems fine.
Okay, so you want us back in 2 weeks to then?
2 weeks,
weeks,
yes.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And in the
Thank you.
meantime, I'll have Rich see if he can get you whatever.
Whatever you can get from the
Yes.
town to move
Okay.
it along would be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, because there are other things that naturally come into this.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you very much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night, see you in 2 weeks. All right, and let me just grab that. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the minutes from June 19th. Unfortunately, both Ed and myself were not at that meeting, so we cannot vote on them tonight. So with that, I would like to make a motion to close the meeting.
I make that motion.
All right, you'll second it? All right, have a great night, everyone. See you in 2 weeks, and have a good weekend.
Thank you.